The night Barbados turned a page, December 4th, 1961. December 1961. A Barbados still living under the long shadow of colonial rule. A country of sharp class lines, economic uncertainty, and a widening gap between those who had access and those who had only hope. For months, the island had been humming with political energy. Meetings packed village spots, debates heated rum shops and bus stands, and one phrase echoed from St. Lucie to Christchurch: Operation Takeover. It was bold, it was defiant, and it was the rallying cry of the Democratic Labour Party. By 1961, the DLP was only 6 years old, but Barbados already knew its voice. Led by the charismatic, sharp-minded Errol Walton Barrow, a former RAF officer, lawyer, and parliamentarian, the party presented itself as the champion of the ordinary Barbadian. The teacher in a small classroom with too many children. The sugar worker earning too little to dream. The domestic servant hoping her daughter might have a better life. The young people thirsty for opportunity, hungry for dignity. The DLP campaigned on a simple, radical promise. We will modernize this country, and we will do it for the people. Free secondary education, fair wages, better housing, democratic rights, and the bold possibility that Barbados could chart its own course. The political establishment dismissed them, but the people listened. Election Day, December 4th, 1961. From early morning, Barbadians poured into the polls. Men in shirts and trousers, women in Sunday dresses, some still in uniforms after finishing an early shift. This was no ordinary election. This was a reckoning. Rum shops emptied. Passengers debated fiercely in the bus stands. Everywhere, the question lingered. Is tonight the night something changes? Behind the scenes, the DLP's young organization, disciplined, energetic, determined, monitored the count with a mixture of hope and dread. And then, as the night unfolded, the numbers began to shift decisively. The results. When the final tallies rolled in, the island had spoken with unmistakable clarity. The Democratic Labour Party, 14 seats. The Barbados Labour Party, 10 seats. For the first time in history, the DLP had won government. A cheer rose from the campaign headquarters. Supporters flooded the streets, not with noise and spectacle, but with an overwhelming sense of relief and possibility. Barbados had turned a page. A new government had been chosen. A new leader was on the horizon. The dawn of a new era. In the early hours of December 5, 1961, Errol Walton Barrow was confirmed as Premier and Minister of Finance. He stepped forward not as a man intoxicated by victory, but as a man burdened by responsibility, aware that Barbados had handed him not just power, but trust. His first cabinet reflected the seriousness of the moment. James Cameron Tudor, Education. Gordon Ferguson, Communications, Works, and Housing. A.D.C. Edwards, Social Services. W.A. Crawford, Trade, Industry, and Labor. Henry Allen Vaughan, Minister without portfolio. A team not chosen for privilege or pedigree, but for purpose. Barrow declared that a new Barbados had begun, one where education would be open to the children of cane cutters, where workers would have rights, not favors, where land ownership and dignity would no longer be the privilege of the few, and where the people, not the colonial administrators, would shape their own destiny. What December 1961 meant. The 1961 election was more than a changing of government. It was a changing of direction. It marked the rise of the modern Barbadian state, the birth of a social revolution, the empowerment of the working class, and the beginning of a political philosophy centered on fairness, opportunity, and national development. From that moment, the DLP's imprint became permanent. The decisions of the 1961 to 1976 era would lift Barbados from a sugar colony
into a middle-income democracy admired across the world. But all of it, every school built, every family moved into new housing, every worker protected, every institution formed, every stride toward independence, all of it began on that decisive December night. December 4th, 1961, was the moment Barbados made a choice. A choice for progress, a choice for dignity, a choice for transformation. It was the night the Democratic Labour Party moved from hope into history, and the night a nation began its journey toward independence, confidence, and self-determination. The story of the DLP cannot be told without that night, the night Barbados decided it was ready to change.
Barbadians, hear me now. If Barrow could talk today, I got something to say. Why, raise your flag, but open your eyes. If Barrow had to speak today, what I see would break my heart away. Nothing changed, just a mirror frame, same corruption, just a brand new name. My people, I'm sad to say, you reaping all you sow today. The pride and industry fade away, and now we fighting to find we way. Life had two extremes, I tell you so. Hope and hunger, high and low. Poverty mixing with champagne flow, but poor man still can't grow. Suffering and celebrating, starving while them still partaking. Nations rise, time to break that spell. Stop showing contempt for yourself. Change when thieves lead the way. Corruption sweet when give us pay, and government take what poor man lay. Taxation high like mountain peak, while schools and roads still spring a leak. Them flying high, them living sleek, but poor man vice still 2 weeks. So tell me now, who you blaming? Who make the system shaming? Them raise the dead, destroy the king. No migration needs the pain. You build leaders like the clay, and now me are playing God today. Talking sweet but turn away from the people who make she laugh. Say alright, let we rise again, take back pride, build Barbados from inside. And Aaron, gone back to sleep again. Aaron, but I pray next time I wake, my people go rise, rise, I say. Bimshar still alive. Need to revive us.
As a parent and spokesperson on education, I'm deeply concerned by the government's recent proposal to send letters showing the cost of public education per child. This is not transparency. It is an insult to parents. Parents do not need any bill to understand the value of their children's education. What we need is real action, accountability, and results. Millions are spent on public education every year, yet there is little reporting, no public debate, no clarification on how these funds are being used. What we do need is better schools, safer classrooms, trained teachers, modern learning tools, and systems that track and support our students, not these empty gestures that mock our concerns. Education is a right, not a commodity. This government needs to stop wasting our time and resources on letters that insult parents and start investing in the quality education of our children. For many years, we have been discussing educational transformation where millions have been spent. We request that the government at least tell us and send us the letters with every account of every cent that has been spent in those various departments. This is what we need. We need total transparency, not what it costs our children to go to school. We know the value of education of our children.
Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday edition of DLP TV. Please permit me to pause and to say that we seem to have settled into a kind of program in which on Tuesdays we're hearing from the youth, and I want to pause on this panel that is a little less young than the Tuesday panel, and to say congratulations to them and how they're expressing themselves as young people and as progressive young people. So for the Tuesday panel, last 2 Tuesdays, job well done. Today we are coming here to discuss the topic, government give account. We are asking the government to give account. And you do know that there's a principle in governance that demands of a government that it is always answerable for the things that it does, the decisions that it makes, the general actions taken by a government. It must always give account. It must be answerable to those whom it serves, not who it rules. And that's the problem with governance in Barbados. We're getting the feeling that government is ruling rather than serving, and we will point to a number of examples tonight. The lack of accountability in government in Barbados. Perhaps that is why the population is as keen as government appears to be to move into election, and I get a sense that we are into the election season, and if that is so, maybe it is too late for the government to give account, and the people will be speaking in a matter of weeks, months, who knows. But there's still some time. But tonight we will comment and give commentary on this government's very, very blatant failure to give account to the people of Barbados for the various decisions it has taken, for the nature of laws it has passed, for the spending on Carry Festa that nobody knows about. But I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to leave it for this distinguished panel tonight, and I want to introduce them. To my immediate right is Senator Andre Worrell. Andre is our candidate in St. Michael's Central. He's really digging in. It was good to see you at the dinner last week with your St. Michael's Central team. Those very, very graceful ladies who turned up at the gala dinner last Saturday night. Andre, you're doing wonderful work in St. Michael's Central. I heard you have a lot of people, young people on board with you as well. Andre, welcome to tonight's program.
Good day, Mr. Political Leader, future Prime Minister of Barbados. With God's blessing, and I'm very happy to be here on the panel tonight. And yes, we do have to hold the government to account for what they're doing, and you recognize that the people of Barbados are not necessarily, they too want to hear some accountability from the government, and you see that in the comments on social media. And you do hear it too when you go canvassing in the constituency. So I'm looking forward to getting into the meat of the matter in the discussion tonight.
Excellent. The next gentleman, he and I had a road tennis game in St. John on Monday. We're not going to disclose the results of that game. That doesn't matter. What matters is that we had a great time in St. John at the Edgecliff Fair, the Edgecliff Community Fair. It was good to get this St. Peter candidate out of St. Peter. Man, you're all over the place in St. Peter, and it was good to pull you out of St. Peter on Monday, and we went to St. John, and you and I had a beautiful day, and some other candidates who were there, and we had a good road tennis game. Please do not disclose the results tonight. Our next panelist is Jason Phillips, our candidate for St. Peter. Welcome, Jason.
Good night, comrade, leader, and president of the Democratic Labour Party. It is so kind of you not to disclose those results.
Yes.
And I just want to say a pleasant good evening to the good people of St. Peter, and by extension, Barbados. Good night.
Thank you very much, Jason. This next panelist has become a sentimental favorite of the viewers. Very earthy in the way he delivers himself, very honest in his speech. He tells you things about himself and about his origins that a lot of Barbadians don't generally disclose. He tells us that his origins are humble, but that his sights are set firmly on representation for the people of St. George North. Welcome, David Warren. I got the surname right tonight.
Right. Yes, good night, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm hoping at the end of this session that Bajans will be more informed, and it'll be easier for them to make a decision when the other election is called.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to, as I mean, it's no secret. And viewers, we invite your comments and all of your comments. We don't get to read all, but we like the interaction and the feedback. And it is no secret that we plan our shows. That's why we do so well, gentlemen, because we plan our shows. I had thought to discuss education at number 3, but I'm going to bring education to number 1. And on the question of accountability, and we want to thank our spokesperson on education for the statement she made this afternoon in response to government's threat to write a letter to the parents of children who are in schools. Now, here we were today planning a discussion on accountability, asking the government to make itself answerable for the things that it has done in education. First of all, come September, they transfer head teachers with 12 hours notice. Come September, many of the schools are hardly ever ready. And there's a lack of accountability in education. And that threat to write to parents, to tell the parents to tell their children the cost of education, now is, as Felicia said, it's an insult. Government, again, is shifting the blame to children for the failures in education. A few months ago, the Prime Minister made a statement on crime, and the Prime Minister shifted the blame for crime into people's households. She located that as the origin of crime. Well, we know that is not the origin of crime, not in people's households. And here we have education now in Barbados. The children are being asked to give account, and this government has failed to give account for the failures in education. Education, let me say to the government, education is not only about a financial transaction. Education is about a transmission of values. Apart from training people and training children in discipline, education largely is about a transmission of values, not a transaction in money. And government is reducing a definition of education to a financial transaction and seeking to say to children, look, you'd better pull up your socks. What is the implication? They've privatized, they've taken the decision to privatize the transport board. Barbadians, are they going to privatize education next? Let's discuss it. Jason, you look as if you want to go first. Andre looks as if he wants to go first. And David looks as if he wants to go second. Who's going to go first? Let's talk about this government's failure to give account in education. Let's go with the senator.
Right, no problem. Well, first of all, I really must applaud Felicia for her statement today, and making the bold fact that these are not the things that parents are concerned about. Parents are really concerned about the state of the schools and the readiness. You have a number of schools in Barbados which close almost weekly with environmental issues, disrupting the education process for the students. You can also ask the government to give account when did the primary schools in particular receive their subvention to run the schools for the first term, which started in September. I am made aware that some schools did not receive that money until very late into October. So you would have children coming to school. This is money that takes care of cleaning supplies, also supplies for the classrooms, for the teachers, even for tours, if they're taking tours for the students or the teachers. Even for Teachers Professional Day, some schools were not adequately able to have a proper activity for Teachers Professional Day because there were no resources. So these are things that you would want the ministry to give account of. Barbadians know that education of our children is costly. We all know that we spend over $600 million, but like you rightly said, are we getting the value for it? And that comes at the end of the ministry. Have they put social workers in schools that would help those children who are struggling? Is there a program to do things like that so that you can properly identify children who are struggling and give them the assistance, the additional homework or breakfast, whatever the case might be? You mentioned on this show a few weeks ago that you have teachers bringing to school breakfast
Yes.
for children.
Mhm.
What is the government doing about that?
Mhm.
Have they put in place any strategy? Because it means that a number of parents cannot feed or adequately provide for their children. If the children are hungry, they won't learn properly. But you're not hearing the government speak about these things. You're hearing about educational transformation, and like Felicia rightly asked, how much was spent on it so far, and what is the output from it? Because the only output that we've been given was the silly notion that we will change from first form, second form to what, grade one,
yes.
grade two, just to further complicate the matter with semantics. So I think that the government is really off base. The Minister of Education seems to be clueless, and as I saw somewhere, is rushing speedily down the track to be the worst Minister of Education that this country has had in the over 60 years of education in Barbados.
He's going to outdo Miss McConney?
And it's hard to believe. Not impossible.
Not impossible. David, you wanted to be second. So, Jason, you have to be third, because David wanted to be second.
That's a smart way of saying that I'm last. No problem.
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. I read that somewhere. David, you have primary schools in your constituency, correct?
Yes.
How many?
Cuthbert Moore.
Cuthbert Moore.
St. George Primary. And St. Jude's.
3.
Yeah.
That's a good representative. We didn't plan that question. Here it is, I asked you that, and you're on the ball. The state of...
Actually, there's a private school also in my constituency.
you can name it.
It is the Providence.
Providence.
Yes.
You're on the ball.
Providence.
That's a man who knows his constituency. And what is the state of education in your constituency and across Barbados with a government that is failing to give proper account?
Like Andre said, my words would be that this government is lost in regards to education. They don't seem to know what they're doing. And I say that boldly because every school year, there's always the issues of schools not opening on time and that.
Every year.
And to come now with this letter to parents,
Yes.
to outline or lay out the cost to the government to educate our children.
Well, they're telling the parents what it costs, and presumably the parents are to tell the children.
What they're spending to educate a child, right?
And they're telling the children this.
No, my question would be, because I listened to the clip about the zero-rated letter. My question would be, what next? When will the parents be getting the letter with the discount? When will the parents be getting the letter with the cost that they have to pay?
The bill.
Right? Because reality is that education is said to be free,
Yes.
but somebody has to pay for it.
Yes.
Somebody has to pay for education. The free education that we get
The taxpayers.
is paid for. The
Like the taxpayers.
And who are the taxpayers?
The same people that
The
you send
same
the
people now that you're looking to send a bill to are the same persons who finance education.
That's correct.
So this is double whammy. It seems as if this government is doing well in finding ways to take money out of poor people's pockets.
And to intimidate.
They have always been very intimidating.
Yeah,
There's no shortage of intimidation in regards to how these people behave.
Jason, do you see this? You can call this a long hop if you want, for those who love cricket. Do you see this as a precursor, as a lead-up to the end of free education in Barbados?
Beautiful question, current leader. Beautiful
Thank you.
question. Listen, government must give account. Government must give a public line by line account. No spin, no silence. If you, the Barbados Labour Party led government, is sending a countrywide letter to affect families or schoolgoers, students, you got to release that letter now. Parents must see beforehand what is exactly in that letter. Are you planning to make parents pay for education?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to change the services offered in schools? What support is available to low-income householders? Barbadians, you must be very wary of this Barbados Labour Party-led government.
Mm-hmm.
Is this letter a bill in disguise?
Lovely. Well said.
Because at the end of the day, what is government trying to get across to Barbadians? Barbadians, even though we talk about free education, we know, by and large, that is already paid for by the taxpayers.
Yes.
And therefore, we don't owe this Barbados-led Labour Party government anything. Part of the problem may be that this government has borrowed too much money and now is under pressure by international institutions to make public education a private enterprise where ordinary Barbadians now have to pay for education. They are reversing the gains of the right excellent Worrell Walton Barrow. And I'm going to stop there.
Andre, I often tell the story as told to me when I was at university by Sir James Cameron Tudor, that on election night, Right Excellent Worrell Barrow asked him, what are we going to do with this mandate? And he said one word, education. And that has been the legacy of the Democratic Labour Party. And here we are 64 years later. I think the director told me today 64 years later. That's it? Yeah. 64 years later, with that legacy in education, a very proud legacy. And as I've always said, the most revolutionary executive action ever taken by a government to educate the poor children of Barbados. And here we are 64 years later, and this threat, isn't it ironic, Andre, that 64 years later, on the day, this government is threatening to reverse the gains in education. I want you to dig deep. Why do you think a government would send that letter? And I'm not talking about parents now, to children, to little children in Barbados. Why would a government send that letter?
Well, within the psyche of things, when you receive a letter like that, it's almost like it's a threat. You see it as a threat.
Yeah.
Anyone who receives a letter like that, even coming from a creditor or any place, is seen as a threat, as though you owe this person something.
Correct.
But in Barbados, you don't owe the government anything. As was being said, the parents pay the taxes already. We pay taxes for this.
High taxes.
And high taxes at that. And what you need to be asking the question, the government needs to be held accountable, going back to the topic of tonight, and have a serious conversation with the children.
Yes.
Because I believe that is because of the inaction of this government that a lot of children have lost hope in the educational process in Barbados. Because as they look at it, if you get an A or grade 1 in math, it still does not help you get a job, because there are hardly any jobs available out there. There are very few scholarships available, so not every student will get a scholarship. Now, the government came up with initiatives such as the Barbados Construction Gateway Training Program, but yet still the construction sites in Barbados are filled with foreigners.
True.
This is a program that started since 2022. So what motivation is really there, that the incentive that the government is giving to the children to pursue academic excellence? Because you have young people who are graduating from the University of the West Indies with degrees, but are working as cashiers in supermarkets because they cannot get a job to match their degree. Is that motivation for you to try to get an A in class or try to get a grade 1? You're not motivated. So the government needs to answer a lot of these things. A lot of young people in Barbados right now, they feel as though there's no hope. And something which you, Comrade Leader, said on this show many times a lot of young people are looking for opportunities to leave Barbados, to go to places like Canada to live, to work, and possibly to continue their studies. And even the ones who are studying here, the government is not really opening up many opportunities and avenues for them. Or like now we're still struggling with one Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology. How about the one that's supposed to be in St. Lucie, right? So that students would not have to compete with CXC qualifications in order to get in to do programs such as construction, electrical installation, those kind of things, or will not have to be turned back because there's not enough room for you in a particular year. Not even the Barbados Youth Advance, which was the youth service, all they're doing is changing names, but they have not even improved the role of the Barbados Youth Advance program that would give further opportunities for young people to have something to do after leaving school. What they need to question this government about as well, about this increasing trend in getting students out of school as soon as they reach the age of 16, and many of them are on the roads without qualification. But you know what, the government said, no, you're not to be the burden for the school system, and that's why you have to wonder. Just this week alone, a 16-year-old was taken to the magistrate's court, charged with endangering the lives of about 7 persons.
With a gun?
With a gun.
There.
Right? So what is the government doing about these things? So when they send that letter, a lot of persons should return it to them. Because
return to sender.
Return to sender and ask, but if I am paying whatever the amount that they have there, $10,000, $15,000, I am not seeing the value within the way how you keep the plant at the school.
Correct.
I am not seeing the value in terms of the books that are available to the students. I am not seeing the value in terms of the programs available. You have a number of teachers who are stressed out because the role in classrooms are moving from 30 to 35, and that is not a good size in terms of managing a classroom. It should be 20, 25 the most. But you are now seeing a lot of classrooms with 30 students with one teacher, and not even a teacher's assistant to help them grade the homework or to manage the school. And then the mixed education program, yes, we do agree that there should be mixed education, but you need to have the facilities and you need to have the staff to properly accommodate it. So this government really has a lot to answer for. So why you sending the letter in the first place? I believe that, as with everything with this government, a time will come when they will say to you, look, you need to put a little bit of co-pay, because that's the only reason why you would inform someone of how much a service actually costs when you intend to introduce a co-payment, that they will then have to meet a portion of that cost. And I would hope, political leader, I will not do it, but I will leave you to say that the Democratic Labour Party will continue to uphold the legacy of the right excellent Errol Walton Barrow, because we recognize the value of education, free education, and the people of Barbados, from the principles and philosophies of the Democratic Labour Party, are our sole asset.
Yes.
And education is the fastest way for rapid growth and development of this country through its people, and uphold the legacy of Errol Walton Barrow. So no mere Motley or Barbados Labour Party administration will ever tarnish that.
Excellent. Paul, you're sitting in the late chair, but you have a perfectly good excuse, and it's almost as if Andre left nothing for you to say, but you always have something to say. And we are on education here, and the letter, you heard of the letter?
Yes, I was disappointed in the letter.
Yes. Now, what would get the feeling that government is seeking now to blame the children for the culture of violence? But are we going to send, well, Andrea wants the letters sent back, return to sender. But could we write back to the government and remind the government that they were fostering and supporting a culture of violence by paying men who confess to violence? Paul, where is this government? There are several contradictions in that
Yes,
behavior.
you know, I think you have, political leader, you have demonstrated so clearly in the halls of Parliament.
Oh, and Paul is
yes.
the St. James Central.
Yes.
We ought to have reminded our audience that Paul is St. James Central.
Yes, yes.
All construction.
Right.
Never mind, don't worry about them.
Yeah, I think I'm beginning to get very concerned about the fact that the government has really lost their way.
They have.
I'm almost I'm so concerned that I'm not even sure to know what they're doing anymore. We have parents wanting to be given bills for expenses for education, but we are not asking for accountability from our ministers in terms of what are they actually doing and being paid for on a day-to-day
Precisely.
basis.
Several of them too. How many?
Several of
20,
them.
20
You
how
know,
many we have?
20,
20 now.
30s now, because we have to include senators.
Yes, that's correct.
That are part of the
That's
police and the others.
And the consultants.
And the consultants, you know. I am concerned that they have money going through their ears to consultants on a daily basis. And you have something called Carifesta, one which we don't know the cost
That's
of.
right. We're going to come to that.
And two, which the actors and singers and so on from September 1st still have not been paid, and we're in December.
Yes, yes.
And they want to send bills to say, hey, this is the cost of education. I'm beginning to believe that they have lost their way. They're bringing up tit laws and
Yes,
saying,
yes.
I want money.
Yes,
I want
yes,
money.
yes.
It's about money. So I am, as opposed to looking at the objectives of something similar to what the Democratic Party represents,
Yes.
we have always expanded. We have created as a party the largest middle class that Barbados has ever seen.
That's right.
Through the same thing you explained, political leader, which is El Barrel ensured that school fees would no longer be paid.
That's right.
It was a non-issue, and the focus then became putting information and knowledge into those students' heads that would bring out the doctor and the pharmacist and the lawyers and the professionals
Yeah.
and the agricultural specialists and agronomists that they were.
Yes.
And so it was about moving them from where they were,
Correct.
from picking palm grass and cutting cane at 9 years of age, to be able to have capacity to add value to Barbados and to move into higher levels, jobs for higher levels in the taxonomy, in terms of science and different things, teachers and police and so on, because they couldn't do it before.
That's right.
Banks had people of a lighter hue, right? And now you have people with knowledge that can go and work in a bank or work in accounting. So the question then is, where is our educational system taking us?
Yes.
And because of a lack of vision, the people perish. Now, because the government does not create jobs and doesn't have an idea as to where we are going, whether in terms of engineering, in terms of sciences, because 30% of the students in the university represent science students. 70-something% represents social humanities. And the world is going in the area of science, so we should really be expanding our science base. And if our government knew where we were going,
Yes.
there would be better planning, better preparing. Our young people will not be on the blocks, but they will be into those shunts and areas that that they've created as a space. But they have created no space for young graduating Barbadians.
Excellent.
They've lost their way. The
Excellent.
government has lost their way in education. They've lost their way in economics. And everybody keeps asking, what's the cost of this building? You can't say. What's the cost of
That's right.
Carifesta?
Can't say.
You can't say.
Yes.
What's the cost of this of regathering? You can't say.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be preemptive, but this issue that we're seeing with this letter going out
Yes.
is directly connected with a government without a vision, without a plan,
Yes.
and with no direction.
Excellent.
They have lost their way.
Excellent. Jason, will anyone ever deny that the greatest transformation that took place in modern Barbados was in 1961 when the Democratic Labour Party said, education shall be a right and not a privilege. There has been no transformation, and they call this thing the Ministry of Education Transformation, which is a word for them, because you cannot be intended, Paul, to transform while threatening the children that you're supposed to be teaching. Jason, back to you. Can we say that we have witnessed a greater transformation of Barbados, and Paul articulated it, human development, that really transformed Barbados post 1961 and into the 1970s and 80s? Have you seen anything that transformed Barbados more than that initiative taken in 1961
No.
to educate everyone?
No, because when you educate a population, you're really investing in your own people,
Excellent.
right? And if I did not go to school, I would not be here sitting down,
None of the five of us would be here sitting down now. And that's the point made to Barbadians.
because we come from what the people call the poor echelons,
Yes.
the poor people.
And we're proud of it.
Of
aren't we?
course, I'm not ashamed of that.
Yeah.
And when you're ignorant, when you don't know, you tend to do foolish things. And when you educate the masses, they can now have an understanding of why things are the way they are. And a country is better governed that way. Right? Furthermore, you can also move yourself from one tier to another tier based on your background. For example, you could be a cleaner in a house. Not there's anything wrong with cleaning a house. There's dignity in work.
Yes.
But you could get up one day and say, you know what? I want to be a nurse.
And you can achieve
And you
it.
go to Barbados Community College and you study to be a nurse.
Yes.
Right? And for government to come and put a shadow over education by announcing that there will be a letter, right, is very, very concerning. Perhaps the letter is going to say, well, we're not going to start an apprentice program, so when you leave school, you will get a job and you'll be, I hope that's what is in the letter. But no, to be honest and to be truthful, the transformation that was had in the early years of our development, where we decided to invest in our people through education, since then we have not done anything like that. Right? So education has always been the
Vehicle.
vehicle for development,
Yes.
self-development, and has also propelled this country into higher heights.
Yes. David, as a party, we don't have a problem with entertainment. I mean, it's a viable and valid industry. Musicians and so on are entitled to sell their talents. But are we now a little concerned that government overemphasizes the entertainment industry and de-emphasizes education? In other words, they seem to be putting a lot more emphasis or effort into entertainment and less into education, and therefore our children seem misguided. As I've said, entertainment is important. It's an industry, it's valid, it's viable, but what do we say to the 6-year-old that education is less important now than it used to be? You getting that sense?
I've gotten that sense a long time ago. This government seemed to think that it is better to distract.
Distract.
Better to distract.
So they're using it to distract
It's
children.
a distraction.
Yes,
It's clearly
yes.
a distraction because, you might got a little alcohol in your head and other things, and you're busy having a good time. So is this energy that is being focused? They're shining the light on revelry.
Revelry,
They're
yes.
shining the light on go up there and have a good time,
Yes.
right? Forget that other ethnic groups are taking over the country.
Yes.
But we can focus on some revelry. We can hold a fete here and a fete there, and hope that our young people are taken in by this stupor, where they don't remember to think about their future and the future of their children, so that they are so busy, caught up in the moment, they don't remember that they have a future to look forward to, or that their children deserve an opportunity. So the whole idea of this lot of entertainment and revelry is all a distraction.
Yes.
And until the average Barbadian becomes aware of the tactics that are being used to distract us and keep us occupied and thinking about the wrong things, then we are always going to find ourselves going down a funny line.
Yes. Yes.
And I want to say this, you know, this education thing smells funny. It seems as if this government is going towards making us pay for education.
Yes. That's where it seems headed.
It seems that way to me.
Yes.
But I want to say to the government, if that is your idea, I want you to walk back on this one. You've done well walking back.
Walk back or fall back?
Walk back, fall back, whatever kind of back you can do. Do it on this one. Because our children, the education system is failing. The issues with school, I've seen students in my constituency, and I'm concerned because some of them don't seem as if they go to school at all. And that concerns me. So what I'm saying is that this government is focused on money. You take
yes.
fingers, let me see if we can get it done. I book money.
Yeah, yes, yes.
I book money.
I want money.
I book money. So the reality is that we have a government that is about money. But where is the money? About whose money? That is about taking money from us.
Yes, yes.
We pay for sewage in St. George now. Not a single person in St. George North is connected to a sewer system.
Yes, yes.
You understand? We pay in St. Lucie and St. Peter. They pay for water.
And don't get any.
That they're incapable of drinking and using.
We told them a long time ago.
This government is about money. They're making us pay, and very soon, the systems are in place. We will have to pay for our garbage by the weight.
Wow.
Very soon.
Yes.
If Barbadians make the mistake, whenever elections are called, and put this government back in power, that's one of the first things going to come about. We are going to be forced to pay for our garbage by the weight.
Paul, I want to ask you, Andre implied, don't even open the letter. Write on it, return to sender, and send it back.
Yes.
Felicia says it's an insult. What are you going to advise Barbadians to do with this contemptuous, insulting letter when it comes? Open it, read it, or just send it back?
I would ask parents to be very mindful of the fact that a lot of sacrifice has been made to bring our educational system to this level. We have health and we have education.
Yes, two pillars.
Two pillars. And a lot has been done to create a lot of the technocrats. A lot of our teachers have studied and they're putting in a lot to bring the children up and to make sure that the standard of education remains world class.
Yes.
I know that the St. Andrews College model was used for Harrison and for a lot of the earlier schools. But the fact of the matter is we are still on that trajectory. Parents need to remember the purpose of education. It's about putting your child in a better position.
Yes.
To be a world-class citizen, and that's what we're trying to raise. Do not focus on the cost of education.
Right.
Focus on the content.
Yes.
The parents' focus should be on content. What is my child being taught? Is the numeracy and the literacy considerations being met? Are things like the science and STEAM and STEM are being focused on adequately? If my child has a deficit of any sort, is that being addressed? Not reading a letter telling you how much it costs for you, but to make sure that if there are any gaps in the education, if there is any dyslexia or any other, if you're on a different level of the spectrum in terms of what do you call this thing? autism spectrum. These types of things that's where the mind of a parent should be in terms of the quality of education,
Yes.
in terms of the services,
Yes.
and to make sure that if there are those things impeding their child from learning, that they actually have those skills, and the government is providing tools to address that.
You made a very interesting point. In fact, we are not spending enough on the children with disability.
That's right.
With learning disability.
The gaps, yes.
So that they're talking costs. And our children who have equal rights, Paul,
Yes.
of learning disability,
Are falling.
enough time and money is not being spent on them.
Absolutely correct.
And here's a government issuing a threat.
Yeah, and talking about the cost of it.
Precisely.
We know that education is not cheap. Just like transportation is not cheap.
There we are.
But what they do, they add value to any society.
Yes.
And it is the responsibility of the government to take the taxpayers' money,
Yes.
which they're paying a lot of. They're 40 new taxes since they came.
That's right.
In the last dead years.
That's right.
The last 8 dead years.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
8
8
dead
dead years.
years. Yes.
8 years of famine.
8 years of famine, and getting more, becoming more. They need to bring this to an end, by the way. And it's during that time we are seeing the fallout of students. Why is it that so many students are on the block sitting down? Why is it that the government is trying to force as many people into the Gateway program
Yes.
to bolster the employment numbers,
Yes.
and give them a stipend and say they're being paid?
Yes. What's that stipend, by the way?
Well,
You have any idea?
I get the impression it's something like $200 every 2 weeks or something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
every
but
week. Okay.
because it is a payment, and because they're being engaged in a facility or organization,
Yes.
they pull those into the employment figures.
Oh, do they?
Yes, that's what they do.
Oh, I
The
see.
figures are not.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a little thing going on, and somebody needs to crack it open.
They wouldn't be considered as being unemployed because they're in training.
They're in training.
They're in training, right, and because they're in
What's the
training-
average age for that program?
We're seeing people between 17 and like 20 something,
I
early
see.
20s.
Okay,
That
okay,
window.
okay.
And the program was supposed to end, but it is going so well in terms of keeping the unemployment numbers low that they're running the program again.
These false numbers of
These
6%.
false numbers, it is really, it is fictitious. It really is.
It is.
And yes, people are getting a skill. People are doing an attachment or an apprenticeship and so on, but it is not real work, because at the end of the day, once that program ends, those persons go back and sit on the block.
You heard of Startwise, Andre, where they spent 1.8 million on a program that yielded absolutely nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
I spoke about that on
Startwise.
the platform.
Yeah.
Startwise program.
Startwise.
Yeah, obvious and Peter.
Yeah,
The
and
question that you also need to ask with regard to the Gateway program, are the people getting employed?
precisely.
Because they cannot be employed when you go on the construction site and you're seeing that majority of the construction site have a lot of non-Barbadians.
Yes.
You could even
Correct.
say non-CARICOM persons.
And they're talking about a building boom.
Exactly.
For who?
For who?
Oh, yeah.
And that is the reason why you have the
In 6
Gateway
months.
program in the first place.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. There's
yeah.
some corruption with the government's understanding as to what they're doing. No, they're talking about opening the doors for Belize and Suriname and so on.
So,
And we are seeing that Barbadians are running away from Barbados where possible because there are no opportunities here. There are teachers leaving here and going to Virginia through a program where they're looking for teachers to teach primary and math teachers and so
Yes,
on.
yeah.
And they're taking them up. There are nurses looking
To
elsewhere.
get away, yes.
Right? And so it's not a case where Barbados is creating an environment to retain
It's trained people.
Yes,
it's
they're
educated
actually
people.
creating the brain drain.
Precisely.
Right. So as
precisely.
opposed to having people here, and how does this relate to education? Because we are pouring money behind creating successful pharmacists, successful nurses,
Yes.
successful teachers through Erdeston, psychologists, counselors, and so on. And then there's nowhere for them.
Chasing them away.
Chasing them away.
And-
right?
and-
and underpaying them as well.
And two institutions that have failed miserably, Hope and the QEH. I
Oh
am
my
sorry.
goodness. Yes,
They're
yes.
headed by expatriates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're chasing our people away, bringing expatriates here, and they're overseeing the work of institutions that are not
And they're giving the
succeeding.
best jobs to expatriates.
Precisely.
I mean, when you look at our papers
Precisely. And
now-
we're not xenophobic for saying
No,
that.
we're not. But we're training all these accountants, training all these managers,
Yes.
training all these leaders, and then
They're leaving us.
giving those the best high-paying jobs
Yes,
to non-Barbadians.
precisely.
And I believe there's something fundamentally wrong with that.
I think so too.
There is something fundamentally wrong with that. There's coming a time though when I think Barbadians, and I think we are almost there. Barbadians are becoming frustrated with this government. Barbadians
Yes.
are beginning to understand that this government is not about them.
That's right.
And you see it when the government sends you a bill from the teaching service.
Yes.
When they send you a bill from the hospital, because they're doing that now
Are they?
as well. Yes,
Yes, they are.
yes, they are. And I think they are forgetting what their responsibility is. These citizens know why a hospital is there and why a school is there.
Yes.
I think the government needs to remember that they are responsible for leading the charge for the future Barbados.
Yes.
And that's what a DLP government has always done. If you look at all the implementations of this DLP, we put the NIS in place. I like to always say this. School meals service.
Yes.
That's the Democratic Labour Party. The laws that affect marriage and common law marriage. Free education in Barbados. Ambulance service. I mean, focus on agriculture development in terms of the chicken farmers, pig farmers. These are all DLP initiatives. So the point is that DLP has always been about developing, expanding, and making Barbados better.
Yes.
And we can see it tangibly, right? And we do a baton. We pass it on. Any government comes in next, we pass the baton
Yes.
to say continue the beautiful
Continue.
efforts
Yes.
that we have made as a party.
And
But
the-
that is right now not happening in Barbados.
Transport,
Transport.
health, education, they're closing down all the social
Fashion and burning.
services. They're even closing down the taxis by bringing Uber.
Oh my goodness, and saying they had no conversation with Uber.
They did.
Yeah,
Uber would
sure
not
they
have
did.
come in unless this government had invited
would have
them.
had to
And we
have
want the
given
taxi
this
drivers
permission.
in Barbados to
Yes.
know this.
Yes.
Jason, we're going to close this aspect of the discussion. You are one of the more activists among us.
Oh, yeah.
You all over St. Peter like Punka.
All over.
This letter is, yes, this letter, we recently became Facebook friends.
I noticed.
Just a few days ago, man, and every time I turn on Facebook, a different house you at, and the reception you're receiving.
I'm
is-
working for the good
You're
people of St.
working,
Peter.
yeah, it's amazing. I want to congratulate you
Thank you.
publicly, Jason.
Thank you.
And what are you going to tell the people in St. Peter about this letter that it's on its way? You want them to open it, or you will tell them take it, look at it, and as Senator Worrell says, send it back to them.
No, I can tell the good people of St. Peter to do more than that. Your future is at stake. This Barbados Labour Party led government is threatening your future, the future of your children, and your children's children. We must put a stop to it. Whenever that general election is announced, vote for your own interests.
Hear, hear.
Vote for the Democratic Labour Party. And if you're in St. Peter, vote for Jason Phillips. The letter is only a small screen of what is to come. Because if the Barbados Labour Party ever gets back this government, we're going to suffer for it. People, wake up. Open your eyes, look around, see what is happening. This government that we have now is not working in your best interests. Vote for your own interests and the interests of your children. So, Conrad Thorne, I would say, when you read this letter, read
You want them to read it.
read between the lines and vote in the next general election for a different government. Get past the feel good moment.
Excellent. Andre, education has been the foundation of this modern Barbados, and a cornerstone has been health, one of the pillars. You are our spokesperson on health. So let us come to health now and stay with the question, government give account. You're going to now call on government to give account for the state of public health care in Barbados. It's not private, public health care, because if you want to pay for a doctor expensively, you can do that, and I assume you will get the kind of service that you pay for. But it is public health that seems to be suffering. I want you to call upon the government to give account for the state of public health and to tell the people what is the state of public health care in Barbados.
Yeah, very true, because just like education, public health care, the state of public health care in Barbados has declined tremendously under the Barbados Labour Party government since 2018. During the 2008 to 2018 period, and the period of time where Dr. Dexter James in particular was the director at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, you saw some improvement in healthcare delivery at the hospitals, to the point that he had conferences at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center where he reported on the wait time in accident and emergency and the reduction in that wait time over the period. And that was one important thing for Barbados, but now that is the nightmare and the fear of all Barbadians. The wait time at accident and emergency. In Dexter James, he was struggling with from 8 hours to bring it down to 3. Now we're looking to bring it down from 5 days to possibly less. We're actually talking about wait times of 5 days, 3 days in accident and emergency, to the extent that the communications...
Andre, there are people in the A&E for 5 days?
There are people in A&E for that long, and sometimes they don't even see a doctor in that period of time.
Correct.
There are people in A&E that... There have actually been persons who actually died in A&E.
That was my next question.
That died in A&E waiting
to see a doctor.
To see a doctor. Going there over the weekend, Friday night, and not by Monday morning, they still have not seen a doctor, or they still have not been admitted or on a bed. So you have to sit in chairs and wait for treatment. You get called in to possibly see the doctor or the nurse for the first screening, and then you're sent back out. And you're waiting to get a bed on the ward, because that's the issue. The space on the wards may be limited. Those are the issues. Then there's the issue, ask the Minister of Health to come and report to the people of Barbados. What is the wait time for a surgery? If you are referred by your GP to the hospital for a surgery, be it a cure, be it any other operation, what is the wait time for Barbados? Because you have people getting appointments to going to the hospital in November and coming up with an appointment for June, July. Are you really serious? Especially if it's a person, a cancer patient in particular. Are you really serious? These are the things that person are dealing with. And then the infections that are being developed by persons who actually have operations. Because the QH has developed a practice where they try to get you out as quickly as possible. But then you realize that a number of people are returning to the hospital because after they had the procedure, they develop an infection. Where's the infections coming from? You can ask the Minister of Health to give an account of the state of the operating theaters within the hospital. Do they meet the necessary standard? Are they operating with all of the operating theaters in the hospital? Have you seen an increase over the last few months or years in the number of infection cases that patients have been developing from their stay or treatment within the hospital, those things? You have the issues with dialysis patients. It's a touch and go situation when you go for dialysis, because oftentimes there's no water. And you can't have the dialysis if the water is not properly filtered, or if it does not meet the required standard. So oftentimes patients turn up for dialysis. You maybe get there for 6 o'clock in the morning to start your dialysis, and on a bad day, when 11 o'clock you have not started yet because there's an issue with water at the hospital, or you are told that you have to come back the following day to get the dialysis because the issue has not been rectified, and you have to come back the following day to get the dialysis, and hopefully by then it will be fixed. So it's always a touch and go situation with persons getting dialysis. You have the shortage of medication, which is a protracted problem. And I do notice that recently the government has increased the co-payment costs for some medication. And I'm wondering if the co-payment cost is above what the patient pay is above what the government is paying. Because in some cases you do notice that the patients are paying more for the medication than what the government is actually paying. And I believe in a situation where you have co-payment, that the government, yes, we in terms of the patients paying some of the costs, but the government, if it is a split, 75 to 25% split, the government should pay the bulk of that cost for those medications. So ask the Minister of Health to give an account of the breakdown of the co-payment costs, and if there is a situation where the patients are paying more for the medication than the government in terms of the co-payment costs. And why is there this constant out of stock of medication, especially medication which is on the drug formulary? This, many people may not recognize. Every year, the drug service sends out a tender for medications. So once the medication is on the drug formulary, and Paul will know this as a pharmacist, the cost will be lowered to the patients. But if that medication is not available and the pharmacist has to use another medication which is not on the formulary, the cost is more. And nowadays you are noticing when you go to repeat your medication that the drug that is supposed to be on the formulary is not available, and you have to pay more for the drug that is available, because you can't say, well, if your high blood pressure medication is not available, that you can skip it for this month and wait till they start coming. You have to get what is available, and sometimes what is available is more expensive, and all of this goes down to the quantity which is ordered on the formulary, because many of the the suppliers make sure what is a contract. So if they're contracted to have to supply 3,000 units, those 3,000 units must be there from the 1st of April when the formulary starts to last through to the end of the formulary. So what the contract. So what is happening that you have so many instances in Barbados where the drug that is on the formulary is not available? Are we still in the COVID supply chain issues? Because we could understand that during COVID, but COVID has passed now. This is what, 2025 going into 2026, so you can say roughly a good 3 to 4, almost 4 years since COVID, and the world over has worked out those logistics and supply chain issues. Why are we still having those issues here in Barbados? Is it that the government of Barbados is not up to date in their payments to the drug suppliers, and that is why you are having so many shortages, and then the Barbadians are being made to pay the added expense for that medication. When you go to the pharmacy at the polyclinic, you know how many pensioners have to take a bus on a Monday to go and get their prescription refill to hear the medication, okay, be out of stock of this particular medication. Come back Wednesday, we expect to get some, and they come back on Wednesday and you still don't get the same medication. This is unbearable. The same thing happens at the hospital as well. And not only at the hospital, it's also happening in the private pharmacies as well. Because sometimes it means a drug that you would normally pay $7 for, because it's on the formulary, you may have to end up paying $26 for, and you may not have budgeted for that.
You mean $90?
Or even 90,
In some cases, it could be as much as $78 or $90. And you may not have budgeted for that.
Don't be modest at all.
Right? And all of these are issues within the healthcare sector. I find that healthcare in Barbados is being privatized. And more Barbadians are being pushed
Yes.
to the the FMH, I would call them,
Okay.
the FMHs, the Sandy Crest,
Urgent
the
care.
urgent care, which are doing exceptional jobs. And you also find the hospital, through its communication director, encourages persons to go to these places first.
Really?
Go to these places first because they don't want you to bring every situation to the hospital. But then in a situation where the case is an emergency that cannot be dealt with at these institutions, you have to refer back to the hospital, you still have to wait a long period of time.
Yeah.
So these places are doing a good job, but the hospital is not doing an adequate job. And also in terms of the visits to the doctors within the polyclinic, you turn up for your doctor's appointment, but you know what? The doctor is not there today.
Yeah.
Or there's only one doctor working, and he has to see at not only the appointments but the walk-ins for the day. And instead of you getting out of the hospital, the polyclinic by midday, you are there until 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening. So you spend your entire day at the polyclinic, and that is why a number of people are staying home and treating themselves with Surgery Bush, onion and ginger, and rubbing down themselves instead of going to the polyclinic because the time.
But I'm sorry.
No, Paul, go ahead.
I find that the hospital is a tertiary institution. It is really the last place you go. You should be the last place you go when you're sick. It's the last resort. That's the model. There's 600 beds, and there are over 250,000 Barbadians. So the aim is never to have Barbadians
living in there,
crash in the hospital. The system in Barbados was always set up for the polyclinic, and poly meaning many, and clinic meaning clinic. So it's many clinics. So you have your eye clinic, your diabetic clinic, your dressing clinic for diabetic foot or an injury. You have your pediatric clinic. You have your vaccination clinic. So all of these clinics exist in a polyclinic setting.
Yes.
And we have placed polyclinics strategically in St. John, in Warrens, in Oystins, St. Peter, right? We need one in St. James Central right now because we think that the people of St. James Central deserve a polyclinic. So that geographically, Barbadians are supposed to be able to go to the polyclinics, and it decompresses the QEH.
QEH, yes.
It decompresses the QEH. What's happening is that the polyclinic system is so fractured that persons are finding themselves becoming chronically ill.
Yes.
Their heart, their dressing, their feet, they need surgery and so on, and need debridement and all these different things happening. And so that, and then going to the tertiary institution for care. You want to make
Jason, you want to?
Yes, because and this plays right into what I've been telling the good people of St. Peter. There's absolutely no reason why there's a Spikestown is a town in name only. It's a metropolitan place. And some years ago, the Democratic Labour Party opened a hospital in Ashton Hall in St. Peter. But I'm not going to go back there. But there's absolutely no reason why the Morris Bayer Polyclinic in Spikestown can't be made into a mini hospital. Already our QAH hospital is standing on one leg. And the Morris Bayer Polyclinic, it has enough room, should have at least 3 to 4 wards, and at least 2 ambulances. At least 2 ambulances, and that will cover the northern part of the island. For example, St. Lucie, all of St. Peter, the northwestern tip of St. Andrew, and the northern tip of St. James. I even go a little further. They should also have a substation in Spikestown, a fire station, to deal with the people in the north again. These are the policies that we will be looking at in the Democratic Labour Party come next general election. People, we are now beginning to spew our policy and our plans. We care about you. We realize that healthcare is a major issue. People go to the QAH and they wait for days. I know because I can speak from experience. I suffered a little problem and I waited 3 days before I saw a doctor. Why should a Barbadian who pay taxes have to wait a number of days or go overseas or pay for health care when we already pay for it through our taxes? It is unfair, it is unconscionable, it is unkind. This Barbados Labour Party government is not doing enough. How much time must we wait in the accident and emergency before we can see a doctor? Is it fair to say 3 hours? Is it fair to say 6 hours? Is it fair to say a few days? The government must tell us for the last year, the last 12 months, how many people died in the accident and emergency before, while waiting on a doctor. Common and statistics. Stop pretending that everything is okay.
It's not.
Because we know it's not okay.
It's not. It's not. Paul, I wanted to ask you on in relation to hospital infrastructure, QEH.
Yes.
Now, the giant chicken pen at Newton, I was told today, quite reliably, that if they finish that, that it's going to cost $100 million. I was told that, quite reliably. Yeah, the chicken pen up there.
I saw US 75.
You ever seen it?
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
I saw US 75 million.
US 75 when they, by the way, it went out without tender. Without tender. That's what we
want to know who the contractor is.
All right, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. But if they're going to spend $100 million on this chicken pen up there,
US 75 million.
Do you think that now the Minister of Health recently said they're expanding the hospital?
Right, for the oncological, yeah.
Yes,
and
across the road and
across the road,
overpass and so on. Could this money have been spent on the hospital instead of at Newton on the chicken pen?
And I'm so happy that you asked that question, Opposition Leader Ralph, because I find that, again, I've said that the government has lost their way. And this is exactly where we see it happening. We see that the persons are spending between, as Andre correctly said, between five days sometimes.
Up to 5 days, yeah.
And Barbadians, I mean, people die in A&E, but when the ratio of death is increasing beyond what is acceptable,
correct,
it becomes a concern.
Yes.
And so,
any death,
is a concern. But yes, when it, especially when it's avoidable, I can give you stories all night of people that have passed away because of being there, and because they got no care. And if they did get the care they needed, they could have still been here with us. Mothers, people's grandmothers and sisters and brothers and so on, because of basic things like asthma and other things. Now,
but should we pause and say that the staff is pretty
the staff,
I think we need to say that.
Yes, there is some excellent staff at the QEH. There are also some staff that really need to look at themselves and say, okay, am I giving the best of myself to the patients of Barbados? There are those persons that need to ask that question.
Right.
But the ones that are doing the yeoman's task, we celebrate them tonight.
Right.
And say we appreciate you and thank you for all you're doing.
Yes.
And we know that you are overwhelmed.
Correct. So let's go back to the government and ask the government to give account.
Yes. And for example, nurses. We are over 200 to 300 nurses short.
200 to
300 nurses short. There are the posts there, you know, but there's nobody to fill them.
Why is that, Andre? Why is that?
Right, because Paul was leading into something, but you know, we do have excellent staff, but they're leaving because of frustration.
Where are they going, Andre?
The bureaucratic process. They're going to the US, they're going to Bermuda,
UK,
they're going to the UK, they're going to any place that looks better than
Still going to Canada, or less?
And
yes,
Canada.
They're
going to Canada. Yes. They may even be going to places like Cayman Islands, or even Turks and Caicos, for that matter.
Yeah.
Anywhere that looks better than Barbados, because they're frustrated.
Which seems like everywhere.
Exactly. They're frustrated with the process, the bottleneck, because don't forget, it is not their fault that a bed cannot be found in the wards. but they take the blame for, and these are the ones who have to see the patients, and they take the hostility from the patient. So that is frustrating when you know that the situation could be better.
Yeah.
Because there was a better mechanism at the
That
hospital.
board management is called.
Exactly. And also in terms of the management of A&E, do you understand that the situation in the hospital now, that even if a specialist calls another specialist on the ward and say, well, look, I have a patient here and he can only be treated at the hospital. The place of admission for the hospital is accident and emergency. But you go into that is almost like a black hole or a labyrinth, a maze at the accident and emergency, and you have to wait until you walk through that procedure. And sometimes it frustrates the specialists who may be on the ward waiting for that individual to be admitted and do not even get a call saying that the person has been here 2 or 3 days ago.
And
Those are the things that happen.
And to your point, Andre, the money that the government is spending on these labyrinths, these I don't know what to call them. You know, you would cross the road by Botanical Gardens and see two pieces of concrete slapped together, and you could buy. But you could buy dressing kits. You could afford to buy more, pay nurses better.
Misallocation of resources.
Misallocation of funds, and so you have $50 million being spent on something for Carifta, and we can't Carifesta, sorry, and our hospital is lacking basic equipment. I remember one day I had a lady that needed a catheter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There was a lady that needed cardiac catheterization, and I called the CEO and I said to him, "Sir, this lady is very, very ill, and I heard that the 2 machines are down."
Yes.
And he says, "Paul, let me call you right back." And I'll be honest with you, he did call me back. Call me back and says, "Paul, we have the part, and by tomorrow the machine will be fixed." He said, "Give me the person's name." And I gave him the person's name. And you know, to his credit, and I'm not, I don't want to knock everybody, but the next day it was fixed, and the procedure was done, and that person's life was saved. But that was because of an intervention. Now, what about those patients who cannot squeal loud enough for the administration to hear them? They lie in the corners on the floor of the hospital, and we know what their fate is.
I just want to squeeze this little point before we move off of healthcare, because I had a conversation with a nurse, and the question must be asked: are the African nurses being paid differently than our local nurses?
They are.
Barbadians,
What's the
we
answer?
must ask the question.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I am told, I don't know, I'm asking the government.
More.
I'm asking the government, are you paying the African nurses hundreds of dollars more, perhaps, than our local nurses? And is it fair?
The nurses sent a message to us here telling us that we're agitating a lot for the police and they want to hear our voices on their behalf.
Very good.
Who now on this panel will agitate for the nurses?
I will agitate for the nurses. In fact, I'll dare say this. Government opened an institution in St. Lucie during COVID.
Andre was just talking about
And I was thinking, I mentioned it to the good people of St. Peter. Why couldn't the Morris Boyer Polyclinic be open for 24 hours? Something like fast track.
This is the one they got the European loan for?
Perhaps. I
The
don't
one
know.
in St. Lucie.
Point.
Harrison's Point. They got a
They
European loan for
was
that.
properly retrofitted with everything. And I'm saying that was a hospital in the north, basically.
Yes.
And therefore,
They got a loan for it.
Yes.
and therefore,
Where's the hospital now?
Construction
they
workers
turn
were
it
staying.
into now,
It's a hostel.
yes,
So where the money
for
go?
non-Barbadians.
Where's the money,
where's the
Jason
equipment?
Phillips? And the equipment?
We must ask the government to explain this to the people.
Well, ask the government to give account.
We
That's why
want
we're
an
here
account,
tonight.
yes.
Yeah.
But you were asking what nurses advocating for nurses.
Yes.
We want to call on the government of Barbados to do an audit
Oh, good heavens.
of the nursing situation in Barbados, a real life audit, to let us know where the gaps are, where the needs are, and to begin to take some pressure off of the nurses, particularly at the QEH and the polyclinics. There are not enough nurses. They need to train more nurses. I've always advocated for Barbados producing more nurses than we need, because the world needs nurses. That's an opportunity that would allow for remittances to be transmitted back to Barbados.
Excellent idea.
You know, so we need to train more nurses. We need to make sure that the nurses that we do have are being brought up to world-class standards by exposing them to international best practices.
And paid properly.
So that Barbadians can benefit from that, the nursing professionals and so on. And they should be paid for it. They should be paid for it. But you need more numbers, you need more warm bodies to take care of Barbadians, because there is a nurse to patient ratio. And right now it is out of sync with international standards. And so,
especially at the psychiatric hospital.
That's another, that's another box altogether. We are now having a situation in Barbados where a lot of young boys who are using the grabber and the herb together don't realize that some persons have a genetic predisposition for psychosis associated with smoking herb and grabber and so on. And it is opening a large chasm and have a large inflow to the psychiatric hospital, where you would normally have 10 or 12 guys, you are having hundreds of boys losing their mind because they don't realize that they don't have the capacity to smoke herb. And then it is leading to other schizoid episodes, manic depressant episodes, and all these different things. And so you have X amount of psychiatrists to see them, and X amount of psychologists. And they too are overwhelmed. The system is overwhelmed.
X amount being inadequate numbers.
Inadequate numbers. Yes.
Right. There's an actual ratio in terms of the number of nurses for patient on wards. My understanding, and we can ask, since we're asking the government to give an account. Remember last year, a patient tragically lost their life at the psychiatric hospital. And we were promised that an account would be given to the public of the situation. Up to this day, we have not heard that. So we would like the Minister of Health to give us a report on that situation, and if the measures to correct the situation have been put in place. Was it as a result of not having adequate a number of patients on nurses on the ward, the ratio to manage the patients, and how many security guards, and where are the security guards located, especially at the psychiatric hospital? Are there adequate security guards on the wards, especially in the different blocks of the psychiatric hospital, so that if at any time that there is an issue, that you have adequate enough of personnel available to help to bring that issue under control? So, Minister of Health, that's one thing that we need you to account for. That death which occurred at the psychiatric hospital last year, the circumstances which resulted in that patient taking his life or the life of another patient, and has the situation been fixed?
And let's go to Maureen Denny. Sorry, Jason. In 2023, I was in A&E, waited over 3 days before seeing a doctor. By that time, my condition became critical and had to be admitted. I am lucky to be alive today, so everything you're saying is true. Gentlemen, thanks very much for speaking the truth according to Maureen Denny. Why Walks, that's Yvonne. Please note Harrison Point, St. Lucie was a state-of-the-art facility opened during COVID, which could now serve the population of the North and wider Barbados. Now left by the wayside as a storage unit.
And it would take some of the pressure off of the
QEH. You know, our detractors like to say we're not coming with any solutions. But our solution is to properly allocate resources.
We're going to fix these problems.
And David, you've been quiet for a while. Look, this is a government that is spending rescue BIM. I have a friend whose surgery was scheduled for March this year. She's been called up 3 times and sent back home 3 times.
Oh, good heavens.
Reasons: no beds, not any staff problems, AC not working. Something is never working. Imagine her stress. Surgery she wants and can't get it. Mr. Thorne, there are some wonderful workers at QH. We agree that get little attention. They're not nurses or doctors, but they work on the wards, assisting in bathing and changing patients, especially the old. Very important people. Thanks, Maureen.
Thank you.
David, I was coming to you, and as to how the detractors say that we come here and criticize and don't come with solutions, but the solution is to properly allocate resources. And we have lived through this year, and government has spent millions of dollars on regathering, I'm sorry.
No, rescattering, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
First time I was correct. Thank you. David, you had a rescattering up
You
there.
make that one.
In St. George, or you
yes,
can't remember?
I think there was something that happened, and they actually had go-kart racing. and
Oh
stuff like
yes,
that,
yes.
You know,
12 million.
which is a good event, and then
This was under Sutherland?
no. It was under the regathering program. I
Yeah.
can't even give the current MP member of Parliament any credit for it.
It was in North or South?
St. George.
Oh, North. That's
I guess
skating.
it's St.
It
George.
was all of St.
It's
George.
St. George in
All of
general,
St.
but
George,
it happened
yeah.
in the north.
Oh, it happened
St.
in
George
North.
North.
Skating down the hill.
Right, which is
Great-
not a
great
very
fun.
bad. Mind you, we had the highway closed last weekend
Yes.
for drag racing,
I heard
and
so.
when I become the member of Parliament for St. George now,
Excellent. Speak it into being, my friend.
go-kart racing will become a thing. We will close the road at least once every month
Yes.
and allow those skilled go-karters to have an opportunity to express themselves on that road.
It's an industry, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Generates
And
income.
what is good about it is that the young men and who we would normally criticize for being under the tree,
Yes.
and I
yes.
think those guys are very interested. I had in St. John when we went and to socialize up there
On Monday?
on Monday. One of my constituents was in the up there socializing, and
Yes.
he spoke to me about this side go-kart
Go-karting.
racing.
Yeah.
So we need to get activities like that. But this QEH thing is a scary thing. It is very scary because I mean, this government has failed the people of Barbados in regards to healthcare. It is clear that we have a government borrowing billions of dollars, but a pillar like healthcare is being
Neglected. Yes.
and people are dying. I mean, we somehow be speaking about this thing so
casually.
Yes.
so casually.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
can we do this? People are dying. I care. I'm concerned. This is sick. This is crazy. Why are we allowing our people to just die? Because the government has the money. The money is garbage and sewage taxes accumulating. Where is it? Spend some money on the people. They're bringing more and more taxes, comrade leader.
Yes.
They're looking out to charge for education. They're looking to charge for healthcare. We are paying more taxes,
Yes.
but yet we are asking to pay
For
the
these
services
social services,
that
yes.
we pay the taxes for.
Precisely.
So it's a double whammy. We are being taxed out of our boots,
Yes.
but yet this government is asking us now to pay for the same services
Yes.
that our taxes set up.
Well, let us tell the people that we are also paying for prime ministerial and ministerial travel. Excessive prime ministerial travel. The prime minister is out of this country. She can correct me if I'm wrong. At least once every 2.5 weeks.
Good heavens.
Good
She must
heavens.
give account.
We have
That's what we are paying
scales.
for.
Yeah, we have unbalanced scales in this country. I realized that when the Democratic Labour Party left government, there was critique. When you use the same weights and scales to measure the Democratic Labour Party versus the Barbados Labour Party, if you really do that, you would realize that right now the last 8 years were the worst years in the Barbados history. As a matter of fact, when you have a situation, and up to now, you, comrade leader, you've asked repeatedly about the Hope project.
Indeed.
You said, what about Hope? What about is $60 million overrun?
Yes.
What about that $60 million? Do you know how many patients that could have fixed?
That's right.
What a new hospital that could have built? The polyclinic system could have been reset. And then we go to Poulan. We were in St. John
Yes,
on the weekend, on
on the
Monday.
weekend, yeah.
And we go to Poulan and see these that the conveyance has not been completed for
That's
the
right.
land.
And the grass growing
The
through
grass
the
growing through the houses, and there are no roofs on the houses.
That's right.
But yet, there is a $20 million overrun for pool land.
Before they fired Sutherland, he said that the loan was being repaid.
What loan?
Loan.
Yeah, loan is being repaid. But
To who?
$20
From
million
where?
overrun, right? $60 million, $20 million. Vaccine scandal, another set of money altogether. You see, I'll tell you the truth. There is money available, but it is not going where it is supposed to go.
Precisely.
Right? It is supposed to go to eliminate leptospirosis in schools so that all the rats will not be taken over. It should be going to rebuilding the polyclinic system so that we, and this is what a Democratic Labour Party government does when it is in power. It's to go and pay the distributors that need to be repaid for the goods that we bought. It is to go to make sure that the level of training and equipment available in labs is available. And what is happening is that there's all this money, we are seeing it evaporate and disappear over here, and where it needs to be spent over here is not being spent. And I'm saying that it is time that we remind Barbadians that we have to use balanced scales. When they're looking at this Barbados Labour Party, they have to look with clear, balanced eyes and look at things justly and go into their heart of hearts and say, really and truly, is this government really supposed to be behaving like this? They need to ask the question, you know. Is the government really supposed to be wasting $60 million and overrun of $20 million? Is that really fair? And mothers cannot even buy enough food for their children to eat.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Or buy school clothes.
That's
or
correct.
have to be juggling bills, the water bill and the light bill and so on. Why is it that we're still paying all these gas taxes?
Yes.
And people are beginning to feel it. Barbadians feel betrayed.
Are beginning to feel it, Paul?
Are feeling betrayed by this Barbados Labour Party.
But you know that we would have had a number of COVID loans that I don't know that the government has given the people of Barbados a good account as to where that money has been, has gone, been spent.
Yes.
And as a result of that, you have to pay back for those loans. And so you have to you use the taxes to pay back for those loans. If the money was not spent to deliver the goods or the service that it was intended for, you have to raise the money again through taxes to deliver those services. We constantly hear about the loan to upgrade the South Coast Storage Project. We are not seeing any work being done there. We don't know the true account of the COVID loans, the vaccine, how much money was actually spent on vaccines which were free. All of those things, or how much money was put aside to buy vaccines which were free coming out of COVID. All of those things. And Barbadians need to recognize that if this government is borrowing money and not using it the correct way, you have to keep the taxes high in order to repay those loans. And then to save face, you need to get the work done another way. So you need to keep the taxes high again to deliver on the services. And that's what's happening here. All of these things like the chicken pen. I saw at Newton.
Chicken pen at Newton.
That's money. I saw someone making a statement about the figures that looked to me as though somebody got mad in the night at Botanical Garden and knock off the heads, the hands, whatever the case may be, but that's supposed to be art. That's money. Give us an account for how much money was spent on those, because I am certain that it could have repaired or put in a CT machine at the hospital. Of course, it could have put in some X-ray machines, ultrasounds at the polyclinics.
Yes,
it could have bought calcium, which is out of stock. At the hospital, calcium and folic acid, two things which are easy to find, right? So that the patients would not have the headaches to try to get these medications.
Current leader,
yes, please, Jason.
Do you think it is time now that the DLP through you,
us,
or through us, but you are in Parliament. File formal,
This gentleman here is in Parliament too. He's in the upper chamber.
file formal parliamentary questions.
Good idea.
I think it's
Good
time
idea.
that Barbados hold its government accountable. And I think that the Democratic Labour Party, through our comrade leader and president, should file formal parliamentary questions on this government.
Well,
They are borrowing a lot of money and they are spending it. We don't know where the money is going.
Well, one of the first questions we'll have to ask David, this is a government that sent home public servants. And in the aftermath of sending home public servants, hired an army of consultants. And to this day, they have not given account for the cost of those consultants and as to the number.
We want to know who the consultants are.
We want
names. We want names. We want to know how much money
You're paying
these
them a
people
month.
are. Yes, we want to.
Precisely.
Barbados want to listen, you know.
The cheapest is about 6,000 a month.
Right.
And the most expensive is 15,000 a month.
How many parliament and how many consultants there are? Who
are
are
they?
names? The amount of money they are being paid.
That's
How many
right.
hours they've worked.
And we want to know what
Work. Well, we
policies
know
were
the
put in
answer to
place.
that.
From these
They don't-
consultants, we want to know what policies were put in place.
Not one has perspired since January 1st.
Listen,
David, you want those numbers? The consultants? Talk to Bajans about the consultants. I beg you.
Transparency.
You see, there's a lack of transparency in Barbados.
Yeah,
And clearly, there's no accountability.
correct.
We have a government that does not care about us. Somehow, this government seems to believe that we can't say anything to them. As
We the people.
we the people can't say anything to them. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
They are in charge of us. They run things.
yeah.
They speak to us as if we're their minions.
30 love syndrome.
Dirty love
That's what we
syndrome,
call it.
yes,
Yeah,
we're their
yeah,
minions.
yeah. They're gonna
So,
get
so,
good
so
price.
clearly, as we shout to the mountain top, we beg for transparency. There's still zero transparency. There's no accountability. And Jason talking about writing questions,
Parliamentary questions.
Parliamentary questions. But but are these people? Will these people answer these questions? They don't seem to think that they're accountable to the people.
comrade leader, you know
And that's
what?
where the problem lies. That's where the problem really is. This government does not seem to think. They seem to think that they have put themselves in Parliament.
30 love syndrome, David.
We had nothing to do with it. And the people of Barbados must send a message
Yes.
to this government.
Yes.
Otherwise, we all get. Listen to me today for the people in QH, tomorrow for me, tomorrow for Paul, tomorrow for Jason, tomorrow for Leader,
Yeah.
tomorrow for. The reality is that 5-day wait might seem like a distant thing. The amount of potholes on the road, you could go down the road,
Oh, yeah.
road trying to miss a pothole,
Oh, yeah.
and you could end up in QBH in serious condition. and the part of the reality is that you could end up in that 5-day wait in A&E. You understand?
Yeah.
And suffering.
Yes.
Right. I know a lot of my constituents are afraid. I have spoken to many persons who are afraid to go to that hospital here. You can imagine that this hospital is supposed to be one of the best hospitals in Caribbean. But yet, the very people who have built the hospital are afraid to go there. Or they're afraid.
Yeah.
So the reality is that these are problems that must be fixed. On behalf of the people of Barbados, our QEH was never this bad before. It was never this bad. We need to pull it back off. We need to regain the confidence of the people in the QEH. The DLP has to do it.
Jason is eager to come in.
No, I was just going back to the question. Government must give a public line by line account, no spin, no silence. So I want to know, you're in Parliament. What happened to the integrity legislation? All of that comes out of accountability, you know. And people that want to know
freedom of information.
We have to tell the people what happened to it and why it hasn't been passed
Tell me why. And we want to know how many millionaires.
and what it was intended to do.
And we want to know how many
It was
millionaires.
intended to force
We want to know how many
people in public
millionaires.
life, including politicians,
I want
to
to know how many
disclose their
millionaires.
assets prior to being elected and
I
post-election.
want to know how many millionaires.
You will get a good lawyer letter tomorrow.
I want to know how many millionaires.
Stop there. You can say that, St. Peter. Yeah, but the integrity, like Maureen Denny, Mr. Thorne went to the supermarket this evening to pick up a few things, 3 bags. I was shocked at the bill as a pensioner. This is the first year that I will not be putting turkey on my table.
Oh, good
Maureen lives
heavens.
in Barbados.
Wow.
And to be honest, more
St. James North.
And to be honest, Maureen, more needs to be done for the pensioners in Barbados because the cost of living is way too high. By now, the pension should have been increased.
Tell them
And
travel less, Andre.
Yes, the government needs to travel less and those things could be done. And this whole thing about persons waiting till 67, 68 to qualify for a pension, that is absolute nonsense.
And what happened
I
to that?
told them to do it. I assume.
And what happened to the promise of lowering VAT?
No, you know,
We're not calling any figure, but we are going to lower it.
You're gonna lower it.
So don't call a figure in here.
Sounds good.
They promised in 2018 to lower VAT. Tell Barbadians that in 7+ years, they have not kept the promise. This Democratic Labour Party promises that we are going to lower VAT. They cannot come, Paul Gibson, now and speak on it with any credibility.
That's correct.
They've had 7 going into 8 years to lower it, and they have not.
You have not.
They have not.
I realize something that is happening as well. The reward that the government is giving to Barbadians is more taxes and a longer time for retirement
Yes.
as a gift. That is
Yes.
a gift from the Barbados Labour Party. And I believe that this government should lose the government just for that single
reason.
thing.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they're even thinking of just moving it from 65 years old, 65 years to 67,
67.
and now want to extend it to 2 years short of 70 by to 68.
They want to move it to 68 now?
Yeah, they're going to move it to 68.
Mr. President, I think that the Democratic Labour Party needs to make a statement with regard to that, a
Yes.
commitment.
Moving it to
68.
Their proposal.
Their proposal,
proposal.
to move it to
It's
68.
coming out, yes.
But I would
Really?
hope-
Yes.
Whose face is that?
That's today?
Today.
That's your opponent?
2028, they want to move it to 67 and a half years.
That came out today, Paul?
Yes, it came
I
in the
get
Public Affairs Department.
I just want to
I'll let Paul read it. Paul
Yes.
read it.
So
Okay.
there will be a 1-year increase in the
Jordan said that.
pensionable age in 2 steps.
Paul, this government is collapsing.
It is collapsing.
Transport
I don't
down.
know. Yes.
Health going.
Health going.
Education, they're making a space.
For getting a $1 billion.
And now they're going to
for VAT.
68.
They want to go from 67 and a half to 68.
And they have psychopaths walking around saying that they will get another 30 love.
No,
They
no,
might well get
no,
one.
Something is wrong. If Barbadians do this to themselves, something is wrong. We will not permit this to happen. You
think that-
can't.
Paul,
We can't. They can't
who
do this.
made that statement? I want you to tell me.
Yes, give the name.
The name
Give
here
the name
is
to Jason
Minister of
Phillips.
Labour,
What's his name?
Social Security, and the third sector, and his name is the Honourable Colin Jordan, MP, First in
People of St. Peter. People of St. Peter. That is no other reason to get rid of the Minister of Labour. Is to get rid of him now because you want to raise the pensionable
Pensionable
age
age.
The 68.
to 68. They want you to die before you get a pension. Good people of St. Peter.
And to pay $10.
Cut them loose.
When they privatize it.
Good people of St. Peter. Remember me when you go to vote. Remember the name Jason Phillips.
Yes. Verily, the Peter said, is a command to die at your desk.
Exactly.
Command to die.
A command to die at your desk.
Yes.
You don't even get home.
Andre,
Mr.
everything is going wrong. Everything is collapsing.
And
What is our policy? Are we
that
going
the Democratic Labour Party should make
that
a policy to
Yes.
reverse this
Yes.
and to put back the money within the national insurance.
1.2, 1.3 billion
dollars.
on the advice of 2 men who came into this country called White Oak.
Correct.
It was on their advice. They can't
Give us
sue
your
for
policy,
that.
leader.
We could return the pensionable age
Give us
to
your
a
policy.
suitable age that Barbadians can have the opportunity to retire
Uh-huh.
and enjoy life after pension.
Yeah.
It's unfair. It's
After
unfair.
retirement.
$1.3 billion written off.
Yes.
The
yes.
Poor People's Bank, the Poor
Poor
People's
People's
Insurance
Bank.
Company, Paul Gibson,
Yes. Yes.
has been its assets reduced by $1.3 billion
billion.
at the stroke of a pen.
Of a
And this same government not paying national insurance for a number of persons that they have on contract.
On contract.
All the people that working at Sports Council,
Really?
that working cleaning the roads,
yeah.
in the bushing program, the government does not pay national insurance for those persons.
Their financial and economic management has failed.
Has failed.
Has
And I'll tell you
failed.
something with this thing
Has
with
failed.
this thing with the transport now going privatized.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers and nurses and police.
Mm-hmm.
I was told by a police that part of their contract is that they're allowed to travel
Yes.
at
Mm-hmm.
the point of delivery on any transportation, any
Any
system.
bus.
That will be removed from the police. So police will now have to pay the travel on the transport system, and nurses. Right now, that will be an additional cost to their pockets on a monthly basis, if that is allowed to happen.
But if
It
these
must not be
draconian
allowed to
measures are coming,
happen. it is crazy.
what does it tell us about the true state of the economy?
Yes.
After all the boasting that the
Yes.
economy is buoyant,
Yes.
you normally and you usually have draconian measures when something is fundamentally wrong.
Yes. Crashing and burning.
And there's something fundamentally wrong that we're not being told about.
Yes,
They're
yes.
not giving account.
Yes. And the people of Barbados need to be mindful of this. It is happening. The government is not making it any easier for
They've
them.
lied to us for 7,
Yes.
8 years. They've
Yes.
lied to Barbadians.
8 years.
And to tell us that the economy is buoyant for whom?
Not for us.
Not
Friends
for
and
us.
family.
Yeah.
No, Barbadians have been tricked. Barbadians have been tricked.
Well, we are on to them now.
Yes.
The question is, why prioritize a national service, and I'm talking about the Transport Board, without a full, transparent cost-benefit study and a binding job or route protection plan?
Route protection is important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At least they should preserve some routes.
We demand that the Barbados Labour Party-led government produce the full divestment plan, economic model, tender documents, and a guarantee that routes and workers will be protected, or stop the process.
Stop the lies.
Back.
Walk it back.
Walk it back.
We said this a while ago, David. You're going to sell an electric bus to 2 former workers to make money how, when, and where?
How are you going to afford it?
Precisely.
And it takes 3 hours to charge a bus.
Precisely.
So,
So
unless you have the
two
enough
trips on a full
capacity,
charge, you tell me?
Yeah.
And they're tricking
Now,
people.
what's the cost of the replacement battery?
There we are.
Our leader,
Yes,
it
David.
is clear that the electric bus idea is a red herring. How many private companies in Barbados use electric buses?
That's
How
right.
many?
That's right.
If
Inefficient.
electric buses was such a
A good investment.
catch,
Yeah.
such a goal, if it was such a great thing, how come none of the big
That's right.
Tour
tour operators
Yeah, not using them.
not using it?
It's inefficient.
It is clear.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere. You can sit right here and understand that the electric bus thing is a red herring.
Yes, yes.
It will not work. It will fail. Nobody is going to buy those buses
We
because
have,
it's not economical.
you know, when I think of the divestment of the Transport Board, we have to come back and talk to the people of Barbados about co-op, that's what you call it, the divestment of the sugar industry.
Oh, yeah,
that's a
that's
major
big
issue in
topic,
Barbados.
yes, yes.
Major, because the sugar industry will just disappear like that.
Yeah.
After billions have been spent on it.
Yes. And the
And you negotiate, Paul, to send it to certain people.
Yes.
And as soon as it is getting into the hands of these certain people, the government backs off.
all because they did not
And
give
they're not
an
willing
asset
to invest.
register. The
All
people
because
said-
they did not
the
do what?
people said, give us the cost of the assets
Right.
for the BSIL, all right?
Yes.
And we will then contribute our money to this process.
Yes.
Because we have to know what we're buying into. I mean, you need to know the value of the assets. No, the government has not, the sugar industry has not presented the assets to the co-op. And so they say, but hold on a minute, you all promised that you would give us the numbers and the assets, the machines, the equipment, and so on, so that we will know what we are buying into. We committed to a particular number, but because you're not telling us what the value or the asset register is, the value of the asset register, we cannot give you the money that and so that's what's holding up,
Well, we have to get Amoy, Ainsley Bain,
Yes.
and Maxine McLean in here one
Yes.
night and discuss.
And interrogate that whole
yes,
thing.
and discuss the failure of what do you call it? Co-op.
Yeah.
Co-op.
Barbados
And because
sugar
that's
industry
something else that Barbadians need to be discussing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the taxpayers continue to give subsidies
There we
to
are.
prop the sugar
There we
industry
are.
up. When it was
But they
supposed
wanted to
start in
palm it
2022.
off on some
Yes.
other people,
Yeah.
and it's collapsing.
Yeah, they said they were giving no more money to it.
No more money.
And now they're giving
So what's gonna
subsidies,
happen to it,
$50
Paul?
million. Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Well, we know what's happening. We're going back to the sugar plantation days where the government is supporting the plantocracy and funding sugar,
Yes.
and at the taxpayers' expense.
That's right.
That's where we are. We're back there now.
Yeah.
Where this thing was supposed to move us away from that. It was supposed to be privatized, but that's obviously is not what's happening now.
Let's move quickly on lack of government accountability. We have one of our candidates whose name appeared in the paper recently. One of our candidates who comes on this show. Ainsley Granger, I'm going to call his name. Ainsley's name appeared on a list of persons who are to be struck off of the voters list. Ainsley out there asking people to vote for him, and they're about to strike off Ainsley's name among 8,291 people. This government is preparing Jason Phillips to steal the election. I believe you. And we have to shout that across the plains and fields of Barbados, Paul Gibson.
Indeed.
I believe
Live people who live here in Barbados. There are people who live in the United States who want to come back home and
There are
vote.
people in Statesman's Village that are
They're about to be struck off too.
their register is dead.
Yeah, in my constituency, the dead
Dead.
people.
Many people are alive and well.
Yeah, and I have people that are
actually-
dead, and I have the programs from the funeral that are still on the program, still
on the thing,
voters list.
on the voters list. Because
There are a lot of hours really trying to steal the election,
they
aren't
are
they?
trying to say, and I believe that enumeration process should be repeated because there's no way
Yes.
that you can complete a thorough enumeration in 1 month.
Let's tell the
And-
people the truth.
Madness.
That they hired postmen to do the enumeration process, post, whatever you call it, and then told them that if they come in within a certain speed of time, not speed on the motorcycle, they would get an incentive payment. So it was done not with efficiency but with speed,
Yes.
because they know what they want to do.
Yes.
They know they want to steal the people's election,
Yes.
and
So
I say
that-
the people's election, Andre Worrell.
Exactly. So that's another thing that we should put on the list.
A
How
letter
much
to
did
the
you
chairman of
actually pay
Yes.
for this process to be done?
To be hastened.
To be done, and I believe it should be repeated because there's
That's
no way
right.
you can do it in a month. And with the number of errors which were in the paper, I actually called a young lady in the night. I
She's
sent
on
her
the
a
list?
message and told her about you're dead.
You died.
And your brother dead too.
Yeah.
And she's very much alive.
Yes.
And her brother is very much alive. And then I saw that they wanted to delete a dead woman from being overseas. No. They wanted to remove a dead woman from the Barbados list because she was overseas, not because she dead.
Right.
But she died everything.
So the whole thing is in a mess.
It's a mess. There are a number of people who were there, who are very much alive that are on the deceased list, and there are a number of people who never left Barbados. They call a constituent from St. Michael Central, and I asked her if she knew that her name was on the list of persons who were
Struck off.
overseas. She never left Barbados, but her name was on the list of persons who were overseas.
Andre, we have to tell our citizens who live overseas to make sure they're registered. There is nothing to stop a citizen who lives overseas, who is on the list, from coming home to vote.
That's right. They have an ID card.
As I said here a short while ago, there's a Jamaican gentleman who says he's here 8 months. He says, I intend to vote. Yet we are indicating to our people in the diaspora that if you wish to come home and vote, and lots of people do come home and vote,
Yes.
that they can, and they must call their representative, and I mean their DLP representative,
yes,
and
yes.
ask us to ensure that their
Form
name is on
C.
the list.
Yes.
Those people have supported this country for a long time, and we are not going to deprive them from exercising their franchise. That is the right to
Because
vote.
if we are going to bring people here who have only been here for 9 months
Precisely.
and allow them to vote, who don't even know what a conky is,
Okay, that's
or
right.
don't even know what cocoon
Or don't even
and
speak English.
flatfish is, or don't even speak English, and we can allow them to vote in Barbados, I think that we should very much allow all persons in the diaspora
To vote.
who spend time here in Barbados to vote.
Well, look, Andre, we have to tell them, if your name is on the list, they can't stop you
Yes.
from voting. But I understand that this list is in part designed to take them off, Jason. It's designed to take them off, and we have to tell them, get in touch with us, a WhatsApp call. All of our numbers are available, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Call this opposition office, 310-5412, is it, Director?
Yes.
Yeah, call in here. Diaspora, 310-5412. Next time Jason comes, he's going to give his WhatsApp number.
834-2673.
Call it again.
834-2673.
Yeah, diaspora call and make sure you're on that register, because I feel that a lot of our people in the diaspora want to come home and get rid of these people.
Yes.
Yeah.
My number is 256-1814. Paul Gibson. Or St. James Central.
St. James Central.
So if you are...
Mr. Warren,
you're in
you're allowed to give out that number?
No, well, my number is a very public number. 231 98 99.
You're in a corner now, Andre.
Right. My number has been public for a very long time. 240-7158. Andre Worrell, Democratic Labour Party candidate for St. Michael Central.
WhatsApp calls, please. Mine 851-3766. Easy to remember. 37 riots, 66 independence. 851 riots and independence. Gentlemen, we had a great time on a sad topic.
Yeah. Time
Government's lack of accountability. What are we doing on Sunday morning?
We're going to church.
We're going to church.
Yes.
Do the ad,
Yes,
Andre.
the Democratic Labour Party, we will be joining the congregation of St. George Parish Church on Sunday
That's St.
morning.
George North.
St. George.
You should have done the ad.
Oh, yeah.
Calling all dems.
Over to David.
All right, David.
calling all the constituents.
Yes.
And the wider Barbados.
I do white about
Yes.
this. Yeah.
We, the DLP, will be going to church at the St. George Parish Church on Sunday morning. What time?
We are doing the independent service there
9:15.
because we couldn't do it last
9:15.
week.
Sunday
9:15.
Independent
The
service.
complete team
That's right.
will be at the St. George Parish Church, and we'll be worshiping with the good people of St. George, complete,
Yes.
north and south.
Any other ads we need to do?
Yes. We will be coming as a unified,
Cricket. Oh, yeah.
unified team.
we are unified.
Cricket.
We are a unified team all
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Giving thanks to God for His goodness to the Democratic Labour Party and to Barbados.
Yes.
And we are calling out all Dems. If you are
That's
a
right.
member, a friend of the party, a friend of the country, we would invite you to put on your colors and come out and join us on Sunday morning at 9:15.
Well, let us.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Excellent. Let us give thanks to our members and to the committee, Kelly Conliffe and
Oh,
her
yes,
committee
good job,
for
Kelly.
last
Yes.
Saturday, the gala dinner.
Gala
Oh,
dinner.
yes.
Yes.
We had
Well
a wonderful
attended.
time. Well, it sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out.
Sold
Some
out.
people could not get inside.
Yes.
Food
Some
was
people.
delicious.
The food was excellent. Who's the caterer? We can advertise the person.
Of course, if you
I like what's happening to the DLP. I think
Yeah,
something
there's a
special is
spirit.
happening.
There's a
Something
spirit.
good-
There's a
something
spirit.
good is happening in DLP.
Something
I
good
love
is
it.
happening.
I love
Yeah.
it.
And listen,
yes.
don't mind Paul, we are not only inviting the DLP members, we are inviting the independents and those DLP members who want to support the DLP.
That's right.
We want all
Everybody.
about it.
That's
All
right.
Barbados.
That's right.
Because we in the DLP are family.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes.
We are
Looking and
ready.
feeling like family.
Yes, we are ready. We are willing and we are able to take this government.
Yes. You read that ad, Andre.
And also happening this weekend on Saturday night, the 6th of December, would be the second annual Walter Blackman Memorial T20 Cricket Competition match with the Walter Blackman 11 and the Ralph Thorne 11.
I get the ball around.
You want revenge.
I want to do it. I want to
You're the Andre, you're the umpire. You get to thief out everybody.
I will be at Bridgefield, St. Thomas, starting at 7
How
p.m.
are we going to get out there? Bridgefield has the worst road in Barbados. They fly us in by helicopter. And Friday night, a meeting in Eden Lodge.
Yes.
Dr. Don Marie Armstrong's meeting is tomorrow night. At what time?
All right.
Because we're still talking to the people of Barbados by way of spot meetings. We're not leaving out our job. we going into the local communities and bringing the issues to the people, and there are several. Yes, give us the ad.
Right, there's the St. Michael North Spot Meeting, Well Gap Cave Phil on Friday.
Is it Well Gap?
5th. Yeah.
I said Eden Lodge, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Well Gap.
Well Gap, okay.
Friday the 5th of December, 7 to 9 p.m.
That's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night. The speakers, Dr. Dawn Marie Armstrong, our candidate for St. Michael North, Senator Ryan Walters, our candidate for St. Michael Northwest, Pedro Graves, St. James South, and the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Ralph Thorne.
Excellent. There's another meeting
Sunday.
on Sunday. This is Nathaniel
Michael
Boyce,
South.
our St. Michael South person, doing great work. Very quiet fella, but very effective.
Yeah.
And I understand the people love him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Right, so
St. Michael South.
that meeting
nice
is
guy,
in,
you say?
Yeah, nice guy.
He is. He is.
that meeting is in Jessamy Avenue, and the speakers,
Time, please.
5:30 to 9 p.m. 5:30. Speakers, Dale Rowe, our candidate for the city, Andrew Cave, Christchurch West, Dr. Dawn Marie Armstrong, St. Michael North, Richard Seeley, St. Michael South Central, Nathaniel Boyce, our candidate for St. Michael South, and again, the political leader, the Honorable Ralph Thorne.
You know, I talk to people and they say, y'all out there talking to the people. I said, of course we're out there talking to the people. And we had a good meeting 2 Sundays ago in St. Lucie, Paul.
Yes.
Andre was there.
Right.
Yes.
Hint. Were you there, Paul?
We had an awards ceremony for members of the St. James South branch.
I heard so.
Yeah, so we had to be handing out awards, and it was very special.
Yeah,
Some of the old stalwarts of the DLP. We had a lot of food and so on as well. So we have fires burning in all over
Lovely,
Barbados now, in
lovely.
the north and the south and the east.
That's right.
The west. So
We like Punka.
yeah.
The DLP is all over the place.
All over the place. We are burning our fires.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whenever I hear a Barbadian or constituent say to me, what is the DLP doing? I don't get frustrated, I get excited. So what I do, like this year in DLP TV, I take snippets and I just forward it to my contacts. So Barbadians are eager there, they want to hear us, they want to see us.
Yeah.
So we must do everything in our power to get out there, get our message out.
Yes.
So if someone wants to buy here, wherever you live, Black Best, I go to Black Best tomorrow.
Right.
Right?
Friday night, Well Gap. Saturday,
Saturday night,
what we doing on Saturday?
Bridgefield.
Cricket. Cricket. Andre Worrell is the umpire. Fair decisions, Andre.
You body?
Nighttime, boy, I'm not sure.
Put on your glasses, man.
White balls.
Nighttime, that's Sunday. Sunday, Jessica Avenue.
Thorne is fearful of facing me at a tape ball match.
Take ball.
The whole Barbados know that.
If you take me, I'm going to reveal the score with the tennis. But that's between us. That's between us. We had a great time. Thanks, gentlemen. God bless you all.
Thank you.
God bless you, public here and in the diaspora. Please come home and vote. Don't let them strike you off the list. We're going to ensure that you stay on the list. Have a great night. God bless.
Persians, hear me now. If I Errol Barrow could talk today, I got something to say. Boy, raise your flag, but open your eyes. If I Errol Barrow had to speak today, what I see would break my heart away. Nothing changed, just a mirror frame, same corruption, just a brand new name. My people, I'm sad to say, you reaping all you sow today. The pride and industry fade away, and now we fighting to find we way. Life at two extremes, I tell you so. Hope and hunger, high and low. Poverty mixing with champagne flow, but poor man still can't grow. Suffering and celebrating, starving while them still partaking. Nations rise, time to break that spell. Stop showing contempt for yourself. Change when thieves lead the way. Corruption sweet when give us pay, and government take what poor man lay. Taxation high like mountain peak, while schools and roads still spring a leak. Them flying high, them living sleek, but poor man vice still 2 weeks. So tell me now, who you blaming? Who make the system shaming? Them raise the dead, destroy the king. No migration needs the pain. You be leaders like the clay, and now me are playing God today. Talking sweet but turn away from the people who make she laugh. Like she care, but she can't share. You think she alright. Let we rise again, take back pride. Build Barbados from inside. And I, Aaron, gone back to sleep again. Aaron, but I pray next time I wake, my people go rise, rise, I say. Bimshar still alive. Right. Right. Hey. Right. Boy, you sell it. Boy, you sell it. Bimshar still alive. We just need to revive. Bimshar still alive. We just need to revive.
Lift your hands, Barbados. It's a new season, a new day. Together we rise, one people, one hope, one DLP.
We've been through trials, we've been through pain, but hope is rising like the morning rain. Voices of the people, strong and true. A brighter tomorrow is waiting for you. Honest voices, standing tall, balanced justice, one and all, trust restored. The people say a brand new dawn begins today. One family call, one Barbados, a place for all. Hope is rising, the vision clear. God bless this land we all hold dear. From north to south, east to west, we stand together, giving our best for justice and fairness. We answer the